Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. This pick a card reading is messages from your spirit guides. What do you need to know now? Type of message from your spirit guides. We have 3 groups to select from. Number 1, whale. Number 2, hawk. Number 3, firefly. Pause the video if you have to see which group you're resonating with. Timestamps are in the description box below. Let's jump into these messages. Hello, group number 1. So group number 1, when it comes to the message from your spirit team, your guides, what it is that you need to know. So immediately when I place your card in the center, the first thought that came to mind is you don't have enough information. You don't have enough information to make a decision. So whatever it is that you're dealing with at the moment that might have you feeling confused. And honestly though, I find with myself, whenever I feel confused is because I'm afraid to do what needs to be done. But sometimes I think even though even if we're aware of what needs to be done, sometimes more information is needed so that when we make a decision, we stick to that decision. Because whenever we feel like we don't have enough information, we'll do what needs to be done, but there's also a part of us questioning whether we should go back, questioning if things would be different. For this group, I get for you to inform yourself, fully inform yourself about the subject that you're dealing with, fully inform yourself about what's in front of you. You fully inform yourself so that you don't find yourself going back and forth, feeling confused. And in some situation, like say if this is a relationship type thing, you going back and forth will make it seem as if you're the problem and you're the problem and you don't like peace, you like to create chaos. What I mean by that is what I'm picking up here is say there's 2 people in a relationship dynamic and person A is you and person B is, say, the other person who's playing a lot of head games. Playing head games, there's this inconsistency when it comes to how they show up to the connection and what they bring to the connection. And you can tell something is off, but of course they're playing games, so you can't always catch them. And you might break up or you might act in a way that seems irrational, seems random, and you might act in a way and then find yourself apologizing after or asking to work things out, asking to talk about things, because in the moment of responding the way you did, it felt justified because something's happening. But on the other side, the other person never owned up or admit to doing anything, never owned up or admit to anything happening. So you might, lash out or get upset or frustrated, but then turn around and ask to work things out, ask to giving things another shot, and it seems like you're the one that keeps ending things and then also coming back to work on things. And it just seems so confusing, or it seems like maybe you're dramatic or you're creating chaos in the situation because the other person is not owning up to what they're doing, and you haven't taken enough time to sit back and really pay attention to what's happening. So you don't have all the information. You just seem to be reacting very erratic, just very random and erratic. And that's because you got to sit down and understand exactly what's happening. For some of you, in some cases, yes, you're in a situation where someone's playing head games and it drives you nuts, but it looks like something's wrong with you because you might be the one to say, hey, I'm done, but then you come back again. Or I think of be the one to like explode, but then turn around and apologize. And if someone is playing head games, they love that because it seems like you're crazy, like to get you to, you know, to react the way you're reacting in that case. And you want to sit back and gather as much information as you can so you could make up your mind and be clear. Make up your mind and be clear about moving forward. Because if you are dealing with a relationship or a friendship dynamic, it might be beneficial to sit down and speak to someone who has no dogs in the fight. But for some, there might be a concern as to whether the other person involved might manipulate the interaction, manipulate the conversation. We have the number 1, Jupiter and Taurus. So the number 1 energy deals with the self, deals with the image, deals with how a person's showing up, with Jupiter energy there and Taurus energy. Jupiter and Taurus energy for me showing up brings in abundant energy, brings in stable energy. It brings in financial opportunity, abundance, or even just being aware, like gaining a lot more information and awareness pertaining to a thing, pertaining to the topic here. Whatever it is that your focus is on. Jupiter energy brings that level of awareness. Jupiter energy deals with preparation though. And with Jupiter Taurus and the number 1 brings me to preparation as far as working on making whatever changes a person might need to make to themselves. I think of someone being stuck in a certain timeline when it comes to the way how they show up. There's this stuck in a certain timeline when it comes to the way how a person shows up. So the 2 of Cups in the reversal position does bring me to some issue around relationship, issue around a connection. I'm getting for someone here trying to force something to work that isn't working. In the challenge position, we have the 2 of Wands in the reverse, in the upright position. And with the 2 of Wands in the upright position, it brings me to not knowing where to go from here. We have the Fool in the reversal position, and with the Fool in the reversal position, brings me to not feeling optimistic and being able to trust, like, where do I go from here? What do we do from here? The Temperance energy in the upright position, though, brings me to balance, things coming into balance. So when it comes to this group, you guys learn more about yourself through your interactions with others. Isn't that everyone, though? But something about whenever your heart gets broken or whenever you find yourself disappointed, it's almost like it opens you up or makes you more malleable, flexible for evolution, for an upgrade. So it's like you have to a certain extent, go through some of the things that you go through in order for you to become curious. Because with Jupiter energy there, Jupiter brings me to someone opening themselves up to learn more and even teaching what it is that they learn. With Taurus energy there, Taurus brings me to being so familiar, stuck in one's ways. So I think of in one scenario, you knowing the other person for so long, and because you've known them for so long, that's an excuse to hold on to things and try to fix things because of the comfort of knowing the person, the comfort of them being so familiar. But with Jupiter energy here, Jupiter energy brings me to expansion. And when it comes to this group, it's like you have to expand your mind so that you could have a better look at what's happening around you. Because for some, I'm getting a friendship or a connection that has ran its course, but someone here might find themselves wanting to fight for it. And earlier in the message, I mentioned getting enough information to move forward. I feel like when it comes to this group, getting enough info, because something has already ran its course, but getting enough information will determine whether you pretty much choose yourself in this situation or choose the connection over yourself, choose the potential of the connection over yourself. Because I get someone here is dealing with a situation with someone who is refusing to change, or they say they will, only to rope you in, and before you know it, you guys are back at it again. And this could be romantic, platonic, but this is a situation that's one-sided where the other person don't see anything wrong with it, and maybe you no longer blessing them with your presence might help them to wake up to the reality of what the heck is happening here. With the hyena energy in the upright position as spiritual guidance moving forward, with the hyena brings me to the moonlight. And with the moonlight brings me to the thought of, so with the moonlight brings me to premonition and intuition. And with the hyena as spirit guidance moving forward, it brings me to the thought of how someone or something will look good on paper, but something about it just doesn't feel right. And you want to trust whatever it is that you're feeling pertaining to your situation. Trust how the situation makes you feel. Trust how the interaction makes you feel. I think of, say, someone here being super empathic, and you might really like someone, and the minute you guys attempt to make something happen, you can feel their energy so strongly, and you could feel that their energy isn't in alignment with yours. And just the idea of like trying to make something work, you can feel their energy exhausting you as you guys vibrate on different frequencies. And it's not about who or what is better than the other. You guys vibrate on different frequencies. You guys have different values. You guys have different priorities, where say it might value to you to take care of your spiritual hygiene, and for them something like that is just a joke. And it's like, it matters to you to take care of your spiritual hygiene, and that's just a joke to them. If that's a joke to them, then that means that they're going to burden you with their spiritual hygiene because it's not something they're taking care of. So then that means that this will be a connection where there's only taking on their part and there's no giving, because their energy will be pulling on yours, especially being that they're not even conscious of their own spiritual hygiene and the importance of it. Group number 1, it was a pleasure sharing this message with you. If you'd like to book a reading with me or check out my exclusive weekly pick a card readings only on Patreon, the links for that is in the description box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hello, group number 2. So group number 2, when it comes to the message from your guides, what do you need to know right now? So when it comes to this message, the hawk comes out, and with the hawk energy, it brings me to gathering your thoughts. It brings me to having clarity. When it comes to this group, I'm getting something about too many options, believe it or not. Too many options is the issue here, and too many options is actually serving as a form of distraction. And too many options is coming up for this group, but some of what seems to be options are not options. And what I'm getting for this group is it might even be intentional on your part and you don't even realize it. I think of the person that says, I have this, and this. It's like, say it's a career plan. Say career-wise, it's like, what do you want to do? And you're stuck between a few options. And honestly, the few options that you're stuck between, probably neither of them are your real choice. Because your real choice is probably scary. So you've come up with these safer options. And these safer options are really just a form of distraction. Because when I look at the hawk energy, I look at the hawk looking out for food, getting ready to pounce on something, getting ready to go pick up some food. And I look at the hawk looking out, and I think of the hawk thinking, do I want to eat from there, or here? And it's like, from all of these options, I think of someone getting stuck in like the whole analysis paralysis. So when it comes to this group, like, your guides want you to know that you're kind of intentionally getting yourself stuck in this space of no action. And it's actually something that you're doing to kind of keep yourself safe and avoiding what it is that would be your real and true option, is what I'm getting. No offense, group number 2, but no offense. But I guess the thought that came to mind, I think of like someone, like in their mind, they're so serious about making something happen to the point that they would even go as far as pay a professional, only for the professional to call the situation out. And the person who paid for the situation, the professional and everything, is like, yeah, I kind of thought that, but I was just seeing what other options are out there. It's like, when it comes to this group, I get that sometimes you guys are really good at like distracting yourself to a certain extent. You're pretty good at distracting yourself. You're pretty good at talking yourself out of things. You're pretty good at creating these fires that need to get put out in your life that seem important, but they're not important. They're just another form of distractions. Yeah. When it comes to this group, I get that you guys are really good at creating false priorities. Forgive me. But it's coming out, and I'm saying it because someone here needs to hear this. Someone here could definitely relate to this, and someone here, once hearing this, might be able to recognize when they're doing it so that they stop doing it. Because when it comes to this group, I just get someone getting so close, and then all of a sudden there's a setback. Close, setback, close, setback, close, setback. But honestly, if I'm going to be real with myself and what I'm picking up for this group, yeah, there's getting close and then setbacks, but I don't think this group has allowed themselves to really be fully honest with themselves since childhood. And I say since childhood, not like, oh, in childhood you're sitting there like, let me be honest with myself, this is what I'm interested in. I think of in childhood someone knowing, and then for whatever reason, just feeling that that's not an option and shut down your thoughts where that's concerned. When it comes to this group, I get a few people that likes to joke a lot, likes to make things into a joke. Whether you're funny or you try to be funny or you try to brush things off as if they're not that serious, as if it's kind of a joke. I normally will say to people, oh, and myself, you take things or yourself too seriously. I feel like when it comes to this group, you don't take yourself serious at all. And in this situation, I don't feel like it's a good thing. I don't feel like it's a good thing. I get, excuse me, the person that, yeah, it's like, what's your name? Is your name Lincoln, or is your name Lincoln or Lloyd? And it's like, you could call me whatever you like. No, bro, what's your name? It's like, that's the vibe that I'm getting when it comes to this group. Like, way too passive. Way too passive. We have Uranian energy, we have Aquarius, and we have the number 4. So with all that energy there coming from the 4th house, brings me to a lack of stability for this group when it comes to either your home environment or how you may have felt nurtured by your mother figure. It's like, I think of a way of coping where this group copes by joking. This group copes by making it seem like nothing matters. This group copes by, it's like there's this block or disconnect from the heart. I feel like when it comes to this group, you guys are probably very sensitive, caring, loving, kind people, but who are very, very sensitive. And something may have hurt you before, and it's like the hurt was so unbearable, you may have felt like recovering you may never recover. And once you've come close to experiencing something like recovering, it's like you shut that side of yourself down, never allowing yourself to be vulnerable in that way ever again. And the shutdown for you guys look like the constant, joke, or like aloof, like you're uninterested or something doesn't matter, or you don't give 2 F's, but you actually do. And doing all that is a distraction. Doing all that keeps you back, sets you back. Doing all that, I think of the saying where it's like, if you pretend to be something long enough, you'll start to believe you are that. I think of people who are strongly associated with the number 9 energy, or even mutable people, and how 9 people could spend so much time with someone and accommodating that person's feelings and everything by being everything that that person needs them to be, to the point that when the relationship is over, they have to find themselves all over again. When it comes to this group, you guys give me that feeling of, not that you're a chameleon and molding yourself to be how anyone needs you to be, but to me it's a matter of like pretending to be numb so long to where you are numb to a certain extent, pretending to not care to the point where you do care, but it's gotten to a point where it's like unclear as to what matters to you and what don't matter to you, what's important to you and what isn't. And for this group, for me, it would come down to like allowing yourself to feel instead of being in your head about how something feels, instead of thinking about it, allowing yourself to feel it. When it comes to the message, we have the Ace of Pentacles in the reversal position. The Ace of Pentacles brings me to a lack of stability. So when it comes to this group, you guys may have went the path that pays the bills or what makes sense. as far as paying the bills. In the challenging position, we have the Judgment card in the reversal position. So when it comes to this group, there's a lack of faith. Like, I think of someone getting disappointed or getting their heart broken and shutting down. So the Judgment card in the reversal position, a lack of faith when it comes to anything. We have the King of Swords in the reversal position. I get a cynical way of being, like a cynical way of being. And for some, maybe just passive, just someone who seems kind and passive to a certain extent. And that's not good. Like, you deserve to allow yourself to be open and honest about the way how things make you feel. You deserve to be open and honest about the things that you want to experience. Like, being open and honest about it and going after it, saying that you want it so that it could manifest in your world, because the things that you truly want you to. The Temperance energy brings me to balance. I feel like when it's all said and done, when it comes to the path that you've been on and everything that you've been experiencing, it comes down to you understanding certain things that you would have probably never understood without going the path you've been. So this group for me brings me to my group of therapists, my group of counselors, my group of healers, my group of coaches. Like, you could be a janitor, but when the other people in the building cross paths with you, it's like they get their dose of healing from you because of the things that you've been through and the things that you've seen. So when it comes to this group, the spiritual guidance moving forward is the Deer. And with the Deer as a spirit guidance, I'm getting for you guys to open your ear and listen to the common thing that people say to you over and over again. Because when it comes to this group, there's something that people say to you over and over again. And strangers say this thing to you about you. I want you to start listening out and paying attention to what is that common thing that strangers say to you about you. And I want you to write it down, because there are clues in this thing. There's something that you do effortlessly. And I think it's advising people. Like, you guys have really, 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 really good advice. Do you take a lot of your advice? Probably not. But you guys have really, really good advice. Because when it comes to this group, you guys are so good at observing people. Like, you are good at observing people and understand people a lot. And because of the things that you've been through, also, you know how to recognize someone who's been through the things that you've been through and know exactly what to tell them in order to make them feel better. Definitely with this group, you guys are healers. You guys are healers. So whether you're a therapist, you're a coach, you're a reader, however you connect with other people and bring their attention to their truth, that's something you would be really good at. And I feel like you'll be amazing at it if you first set yourself free, because you'll know exactly where to go and meet others in the dark and how to guide them to the light. I feel like if you don't fully set yourself free, you'll find yourself in a situation with a bunch of people who show up for your help and they say, thank you, you've helped me, when it comes to some, but then other situations where you just don't know what to do. It's like there's something's missing. There's this missing piece. There's this missing part. I think of, like, say the parent who focuses on helping certain children, but in their household there's chaos with their own child, and it's like, where am I going wrong? And I feel like that's a perfect example of, first you need to have that breakthrough moment with you, because when you can have that breakthrough moment with you, you'll see how to show up for the people closest to you, where it's like, when it comes to the people closest to you, you might be, you might experience issues with this thing that people who aren't so close to you say, wow, you've helped me with this, or wow, you're really good with that. But when it comes to what's close to you, it might not be the same. And I think it's because first you have to set yourself free, because once you set yourself free, it shifts the frequency around you when it comes to your personal connections. And what I'm getting is for you to listen to the patterns, listen out for the patterns. A lot could be learned through the patterns. Patterns meaning different people saying the same thing to you in a different way, or you hear something on the radio on your way to work and then your coworkers say that thing again. Listen out for the patterns. A lot could learn from the patterns. Group number 2, it was a pleasure sharing this message with you. If you'd like to book a reading with me or check out my exclusive weekly pick a card readings, only available on Patreon, the links for that is in the description box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Hello, group number 3. Group number 3, you guys selected the Firefly. And when it comes to the Firefly energy, I'm getting something about spreading yourself too thin. So something about spreading yourself too thin is coming up when it comes to this energy. And this message is message from your guides, what it is that you need to know now. And the first thing that comes up is about fuel. For some of you guys here, you probably need to get to bed earlier at night and be more consistent about the time that you get to bed, and also pay attention to the foods or the things that deplete your energy. When it comes to this group, I'm getting that you have to do better when it comes to managing your energy, managing your time. I'm getting from someone here that there is someone that you might spend time with where you might, it's like you're the one that keeps the light on in this connection. And if that is the case, where you're the one that's always keeping the light on and the only one keeping the light on, then that could be problematic as it's siphoning your energy. When I got to you guys, the biggest thing was about your energy, your inner chi, and being careful about the things that you engage with that robs you of your inner chi. The things you engage with that blocks your inner chi. The people you engage with that depletes your inner chi. So when it comes to this group, your spirit guides want you to pay more attention to your inner chi, your energy. Pay a lot more attention to your energy. How do certain foods make you feel in relations to others? How does certain content or information that you consume make you feel in relations to others? Big emphasis on paying close attention to the way you feel after a thing. Yes, after the meal, pay attention to the way you feel. After the date, pay attention to the way you feel. At the end of things, pay attention to the way you feel. Because if you're having a conversation with someone and you find at the end of the conversation you feel so exhausted and depleted, more than likely they did not hear you. You feel exhausted and depleted because you were pushing and they were rejecting, they were repelling. So you never want to waste your energy trying to put information, or you never want to waste your energy trying to infiltrate anyone's energy, because that's exactly what's happening when you get done with those kind of conversations. And they might have came to you and asked you, what do you think? But this is where you have to become a good observer and pay attention to the people in your life who ask for things that they don't really want, and instead learn how to maneuver with them, or instead learn how to protect your energy where they're concerned, is what I'm picking up for you guys also. So the Astro Dice, we have Uranus, we have Gemini, and we have the number 2. So the number 2 brings me to values. Gemini brings me to family, community, communication, online community. Uranus brings me to innovation. It brings me to futuristic energy. It brings me to sudden and unexpected changes. So when it comes to this group, for some of you, I see something shaking up where your friend groups are concerned. And these friend groups seem more like work-related groups, where like, say you have met some friends through work or through your goals, and things are shaking up and shifting where that's concerned. Because maybe you're changing, and from you changing, I think of like, say for example, a person here, say you were into accounting and finances, and you met some people as you were pursuing that path, and you're still into accounting and finances, but you are also into metaphysics, the occult, and manifestations and things like that. So you're taking a different turn when it comes to your interests with finance and accounting and investing and things like that. You're taking a different path, big difference compared to what you're used to. And the people that were once close friends in this arena, you know, might not be able to relate to this path you're going down, because to them it might not be practical. And you're okay with that. You're okay with that. You're okay with that. It's not your job to convince them of anything. It's not your job to convince them of anything. If anything, just be an example. You know, let people say, hey, what are you doing? Like, I notice that this is different about you, or that's different about you. What are you doing? Like, let people come to you and ask for advice, and instead not be the one to try to convince them of your way. Because if that's the case, they're gonna rebel and they're gonna push back, just because no one wants to be like sold. Everybody wants to feel like they made the best decision for themselves, opposed to someone telling you this is what you should select from yourself. No one wants that. So we have the Fool energy, and the Fool energy brings me to being optimistic and taking a chance on something. But we have the Eight of Pentacles in the reversal position, in the challenge position. So when it comes to this group, you guys are taking a chance on something, but there's a lack of structure, order, and consistency when it comes to this thing that you're taking a chance at. And I feel like when it comes to this group, all of what I was saying earlier about the depleted energy, I feel like your energy might be depleted because you might be all over the place and there's a lack of structure and order. So because there's a lack of structure and order, you might be all over the place. In the unexpected position, we have the High Priestess in the reversal position. And this brings me to not being able to hear your intuition clearly, not being able to trust your intuition. And I feel like the not being able to trust your intuition has everything to do with, it's like the energy feels chaotic because there's the spiritual hygiene is off here, whether it's sleeping, food you're consuming. But then we have the Eight of Wands, and it's like, every day you're getting up and you're moving, you're getting things done, you're focusing on your children, your family, your life, your work, whatnot, but you're not getting enough sleep at night, or probably eating well enough or taking care of yourself, or your energy is being siphoned or depleted in some areas. And from the depletion of your energy and the lack of cycle, because without a proper cycle or a proper system, everything is all over the place. So it's like we can't see what worked and what didn't work because there's no organization to see. It's like we're trying a bunch of everything and probably even trying things we've already tried because there's no order. Because there's no order. The spirit guidance moving forward is the tiger in the reversal position. In the upright position, the tiger always brings me to the thought of being aggressive, being direct, being straightforward. And in the reversal position, though, the tiger energy brings me to submission. Like, you guys need to do whatever it is that you want to do. But based on what I'm picking up here is to submit to the truth of your situation. And the truth of your situation is your results. What kind of results have you been bearing? Yeah, your results is a reflection of what's really happening. And when it comes to this group, I feel like burnout. Yeah, burnout is what this group may be dealing with, because you're optimistic enough to try and take a chance at something, but there's a lack of order, there's a lack of structure, there's a lack of consistency. Intuition's unclear, but you're getting up every day and you're moving forward. So burnout. So when it comes to this group, yes, I mentioned other people might be taking your energy, but I feel like the lack of order is what's taking your energy. The lack of consistency, the lack of discipline is what's taking your energy and not allowing you to have that, because when it comes to this group, I get, you know how they say burning the candle at both ends? When it comes to this group, I get the feeling of burning the candle at both ends. So from that, the progress is like whenever you're supposed to make progress, because of the lack of order, it's like these random setbacks happen, and the random setbacks are because of a lack of consistency. And it's like every time you're so close to achieving something, there's some setback. There's this thing that comes up out of nowhere, and the thing that comes up out of nowhere stems from the lack of order, stems from the lack of structure, the lack of consistency, the lack of discipline. Honestly, when it comes to this group, it's discipline and routine. Routines are necessary. So it's like Uranian energy here, you know, you want to be innovative, you want to do something you've never done. Yes, that's that rebellious energy, but you need structure and consistency and order and able to make that happen. Yes. And something about being impeccable with your word, keeping your word to yourself is coming up and very important with this group. Your guides is saying something about keeping your word with yourself. Start by keeping simple things, you know, keeping your word where simple things are concerned, and making a habit of taking pride in keeping your word with yourself, whatever that might mean to you. But my biggest thing for this group is to work on getting to bed every night around the same time, being consistent when it comes to your sleep, and start getting into journaling so that you can work on your spiritual hygiene. The journaling will definitely help you to release whatever it is that's on your mind. Dump whatever it is that you're holding on to, because we could try talking to other people, but when it comes to communicating to others, we always hold back certain things, or we communicate in a way to get us the response that we actually want, and not always the truth. So journaling will be very beneficial. Group number 3, it was a pleasure sharing this message with you. If you'd like to book a reading with me or check out my exclusive weekly pick-a-card readings, only available on Patreon. The link to book with me or check out my Patreon or both within the description box below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.